This tiny little device right here is Shure's brand new MoveMic wireless system. This is a clip-on lavalier microphone system, and you don't need any other cables or body packs with this. This is the microphone and the wireless all in one. You can either connect it directly to your phone or tablet and record that way, or you have the optional receiver so you can connect directly to your camera or a third-party app, or the receiver can be connected via USB-C to a computer or a tablet and used as an audio interface as well for direct recording. And not just that, but you are able to use one or two microphones at the same time and record them both simultaneously. The microphones can be configured with gain, compression, noise reduction, EQ, all of that can be configured within the app itself or the receiver unit as well. You get a case for the microphones, and the case will store as well as charge the microphones while they are in the case. In addition to the Shure audio app, there's also the video app, and you are able to live stream directly from that app so you can get much better audio quality for your live streaming. This is one of the tiniest clip-on microphones that I've ever seen, and you might not have noticed I'm actually wearing one for this video. And all the audio that you're hearing for this video is going to be recorded on the MoveMic. This is a really well-designed wireless lavalier system, and it has a bunch of extra features in there if you want it, or it can also just be very simple, turn it on, connect to an app, and you're ready to go. I really love that this is just the clip-on, there's no other cables required. I don't have to run the cable down and attach to a body pack. It is just, this is the microphone. Many thanks to Shure for sending this over for me to check out. This is not a paid video, and just as always, all the opinions in this video are my own. And if you are interested in checking out more of the Shure MoveMic system, I will have links down below in the description so you can check this out for yourself. So all of the audio in this video is going to be recorded on the MoveMic. Even when I'm demoing the product, I filmed all of that and then I recorded the audio separately in post. This is processed in the way that I personally would want it to sound, but I will do some dry test and some comparisons of different configurations that you have in the app later on in the video. That's enough of the intro. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and let's go ahead and check out the Shure MoveMic system. So first of all, you have this really nice carrying case that stores everything, and there are extra pockets if you need extra pockets for other pieces of gear or cables and stuff like that. You get the receiver if you get the version with the receiver. You get this case right here that holds the microphones as well as charges the microphones. You get two USB-C cables and one 3.5mm TRS cable for connecting it to your camera, for example. So this is the case that holds and charges the microphones, and the mics live in here. Just FYI, when you first get the microphones, the windscreen will not be on it, but it is very easy to attach it onto the top. And you can see how super tiny these microphones are. Very nice for a clip-on. So you put them back in the case, and you can see that the case will let you know which one's charged. So you can see that this one on the left needs to be charged a little bit, but the other one is full. But the case will charge the microphones. And if you need to charge the case, you just plug in with the USB-C cable. The microphones themselves will have an 8-hour battery life, and then the case will charge each of the microphones twice. So it's a total of 24 hours of battery life until you have to charge the case, which is great. If you get the version with just one microphone, you still get a case that has a slot for two in case if you do decide to buy a second one in the future. So this is the optional receiver unit right here. This is used to connect to a camera or any sort of third-party software that you want to use if you don't want to use the Shure app specifically. You have a headphone out for monitoring. You have a 3.5mm TRS output for connecting to a camera, for example. And then the USB-C slot right here is used for charging the device as well as for connecting it to your computer. So you actually can connect it to your computer and use it as an audio interface for like recording, which is actually how I'm recording this audio right now, which is very cool. And this part here does swivel so that you can place it onto your camera or whatever you're connecting it to and get it at the right angle that you need. So I'm going to show you how to do this with the app first, and then I'm going to show you how to do this with the receiver later. So with the Shure Motive Audio app, it's going to look like this. Now what you want to do is you want to put your mics into pairing mode. The way that you do that is you hold the button to turn them on, but you keep holding it until the lights turn blue and red. When they're blinking blue and red, that puts it into pairing mode. So after you've put them both into pairing mode, you can click this mic with the plus button right here, and it'll find your microphones that are in pairing mode. Mine says Scott and Guest because I've been messing around with this. Yours likely will start with Host and Guest or something like that, but you can rename them and I'll show you that here in a second. But click it and now your microphones are connected. So if you want to edit one of the mics, you can click the name, so either Scott or Guest, and you can start editing the microphone. You do get to see the battery life of how much battery life you have left on each of the microphones, and you also get an audio reader. So you can see when I tap into this one, you can see an audio meter, and when I tap this one lightly, you'll see that there's an audio meter as well. But you get a lot more control over the microphones with this app. Also, the app does flip horizontally. I just think it's actually easier to film vertically for the YouTube video, but you can look at it in multiple ways. So first of all, I can rename the mics. That's why mine says Scott. But if I wanted to rename the guest mic and name it John or something like that, I have that as an option. You do have a way to quickly mute the microphones as well. You can either push the mute in the app itself, or you can just touch the button here on the side of the microphones themselves, and that will mute the microphones, and you can see that the icon has a red outline letting you know that it's muted. You do have a way to lock the settings by clicking this button right here. You can turn the LED lights on or off, so you might want to have those off if you're filming. If you don't want to see that red light, you can always turn the LED light off. And you also have this high power option, which just gives you more RF power if you need to increase the wireless signal. You also can adjust your mic gain, which obviously is very important. Scrolling down, we have some different presets that you can configure. So it has some already saved. So you have speech, singing, and flat, but you can configure some of your own and save some of your own. You have an optional noise reduction here, which is definitely helpful. If you want to add compression, you can have it either off, light, medium, or heavy. I do like having at least just a little bit of light compression on. You do have a high pass filter, either off 75 Hertz or 150 Hertz. And you also have an equalizer that, again, you get more control over how you want the microphone to sound. It's very nice how customizable these microphones are in the app itself. You don't have to worry about only doing it in post. You can actually get a nice sound just directly into the app. So say I'm happy with how this sounds, I can save this as a preset. I can just call this My Settings or something like that. Save it as a preset, and if I ever want to reload it, I can click this little arrow over here and reload whatever preset I need. So going over to the settings menu here, there's a couple of things you can change, but I think the most important one is the file type. So if you want something other than WAV, and the quality of the recording as well. But let's go ahead and make some recordings. I'm gonna hit the record button right here. You can see I have the two different rows for two different mics. And I'm gonna start recording. And if I start talking to the mic, you're gonna see that the microphone is set way too high. The gain is way too high. Very nice that it gives you a live reading of the audio. So I'm just gonna delete that really quick, go back and adjust the microphone gain so that it's not clipping. As you can see, as I talk into it, it's definitely set a lot nicer. And also when I talk into the guest mic, you can see that one is recording also at a good level. So now I finished recording. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save, and then we'll go to the library tab to see your recordings. So I can listen back to the recording that I just made. Checking the Scott mic, microphone check. Checking the Scott mic, check, check, check. Mic check, 1, 2, check, check. Picking up my dog barking, check, check. And I can hit this cut icon in order to start making edits. And this part of the app I actually like in horizontal mode, so I'm gonna do that for the rest of the video. But I can trim the start and stop point, set them to different spots. I can also add a fade in or a fade out if I would like, and then I can save that either as a brand new clip, or I can just replace the original clip as well. I can also click this 3-dot button right here, and I can edit the recording in different ways. So I can rename it. I can also share it, so I can export it to wherever I need to. I can convert the audio to a different audio type. I can even add artwork to it. So since this picked up a little bit of my dog Zoe barking, I'm gonna put a picture of Zoe as the artwork for this audio file. And that is pretty much it for the audio app, but there is also the video app as well, which has some really cool features. So here in the video app, it looks very similar to like your camera settings or something like that. But if you click the devices icon over here, it gets you to the same menu that we got into for the audio. All the settings that you can change in the audio app, you can also change here in the video app. Also, when you click settings, you can also change the type of the video file. So you could set it up to 4K and 60 frames per second. Of course, that also depends on which phone you're using. Of course, you can also easily change that by clicking this button right here, and that'll cycle through some of the different options. You can also do things like change the lens that you're using by clicking up here. Very similar to just standard camera settings on your phone, but it goes further than that. You do also get some meters over here, so you know the battery life and the signal strength of your microphones and stuff like that. And you can see if I tap onto the microphones, you'll see I get a little meter reading over here for each of the microphones. And of course you can record, and then you'll see your recordings down here, and you can share them or delete them. Seems pretty standard for most camera apps. The thing that's really cool about this is you can click this button right here and you can live stream from this app. So this is great. You can have a nice sounding microphone when you start live streaming, either to Facebook or some other app. That's really cool, and it's definitely going to improve the audio quality because these mics are going to sound a lot better than your phone mic. Really smart design by having this as an extra feature. So this is the receiver. If you don't want to use the app, you want to record direct in your camera or some other third-party app or something like that, this is what you want to use. So very similar to just the app, you're going to want to put the microphones in pairing mode, put them near the receiver, and it will find them, and I'm going to connect to both of them. Once I'm done, I can push this X button to get to kind of the display screen, and this will give me a bunch of information about the microphones. And again, as you can see, as I tap on it, it'll give me a level reading as well, which is very nice as you're recording. This way you can see if you are clipping or not. Very, very helpful that you get a live meter with these mics. And you can push this button to go through some of the menus. And in here, you have all of the controls that you went over in the app. So I can change the name, I can change the gain or mute it. I can go into different settings and change the presets or the compression or the EQ. All the controls I can also do on this receiver as well, which is very handy. But there are some new menu options in the receiver. So if you go to the output settings, you can configure how you want the outputs to work. So let's go to the headphone out. Do you want to hear mic 1 in the left and mic 2 in the right, or do you want to hear them both together? Same thing for the 3.5mm output. Do you want to have both mics on their own channels? One will be to the left and one will be to the right, which can be very helpful so you can process both of the different microphones separately. That can definitely be very helpful. Or you can have them just all as one single file without the panning. You also have the output level, so if you're outputting line level or mic level. If you aren't familiar with the difference, I do have a video going over that. This feature is really cool, the safety track. So you won't have the option of like one to the left and the other one to the right. Instead, it'll be mixed together, but then you have a safety track and you can say, do you want it at -3 decibels, 6 decibels, or 12 decibels, just to make sure that none of the audio clips. That's absolutely brilliant so that you don't have to worry if you do accidentally clip the audio, you have a safety net. That's probably my favorite feature in this microphone system. Such a smart design. And you also have the same setting options for the USB, because remember, you can connect the MoveMic to your computer and use it as basically an audio interface. So if I connect it to my computer, Logic will find it and I can set that as the input source. And then I can set 2 different audio tracks, input 1 for one of them and input 2 for the other one. So now I can record both of the microphones separately. Or again, I can just have them as all one single file if I want to. They give you a lot of flexibility here. I can also adjust the level of the headphone output by going to this menu right here. You do get a couple of other settings. You can turn the LED light off if you want. You can dim the screen as well. You can also do a factory reset, and you can also change the RF power as well on the receiver, just like you could do in the app as well. Lots of different controls that you can get either with the app or with the receiver. Very well designed. As far as pricing, the MV1, which is 1 lavalier mic with the charge case, is $249. The MV2, which is 2 lav mics with the charge case, is $349. And the MV2 kit, which is 2 lav mics with the charge case and the receiver, is $499. If you do decide to get the single kit and then want to get a second lav mic later, the lav mic is currently listed at $129. Also, if you do use a phone or a tablet that needs a lightning connection, they do have a USB-C to lightning adapter that is $29. So when it's connected to the wireless receiver, which again is what I am using to record into my computer right now, it uses 2.4 gigahertz in order to transmit the signal. I know that I've said on my channel that I'm hesitant on 2.4 gigahertz wireless gear, but the reason why is because I see a bunch of bands that will have like 4 wireless in-ear monitor systems on 2.4 and then add 3 wireless guitar and bass systems all on 2.4, and they wonder why their systems are cutting out. 2.4 in a situation like this is definitely much more usable because you're usually only using one, it's just the receiver. Just remember to always keep anything on 2.4 gigahertz away from Wi-Fi routers. But the thing that's really interesting is that when it's connected to the app, either of the apps, it uses Bluetooth 5.0. When I first heard that, I was like, well, isn't there going to be latency with it? Especially when you're recording like in the video app, because Bluetooth normally has latency with audio. I have a video all about that. But check this out. You tell me I'm going to record some video using the clip-on mic and using the Shure Move video app. So now I'm recording into the Shure video app. Does it look like this is out of sync at all, or does it look like everything's syncing up? That's actually really cool. And then just FYI, here's how it sounds when I point it away. So you can see when I talk, away from the microphone, or when I bring it up closer to my mouth. Again, it's usually going to be down here. I'm just showing you so you can see on the screen that I'm talking into this, and I don't see any latency. Pretty impressive. So there is no noticeable latency. You can see my mouth still syncs up with the audio. I'm really curious to find out more about how they're doing that. That's definitely really impressive. The only time that you'll experience latency is if you're using the app and you try to connect, headphones to it or something like that for real-time monitoring. But I don't think you're really going to need to do that because there's already so many signals to show you, are you clipping or is the signal too quiet and stuff like that. If you truly do need to check the audio in the app while you're using it, you can always check it and just listen to how it sounds and make sure that everything's good. But if whatever situation you're in, you need to use real-time monitoring, that's when you would want to get the kit, which has the receiver with it. If you do need real-time monitoring, or you need to use it with some third-party apps. As far as the tone, you've been hearing it this entire time. Like I said, I am going direct into my computer, I'm recording into Logic, and I'm processing it in the way that I personally like it to sound. However, here's how it sounds completely dry. I've gotten rid of all the post-processing. I've just matched the levels so that they're equal, but no other processing is on this. And actually, while we're here, let me go ahead and set this to flat because I can do this on here. So now I am on completely flat, no noise reduction, no high pass filter, no compression, and the equalizer is completely flat on here. And now here it is in the speech mode, so you can hear how the speech preset sounds. Here's how it sounds in the singing preset, so you can hear how that sounds. And then here's how I have it on my personal settings. I have it noise reduction on, high pass filter at 75 Hertz, compression on light, and then equalizer, I have -2, +2, +2, -2, +2. That's kind of just where I've decided on. But again, in post-processing, I could also make it sound like this, or I could also make it sound like this for a slightly different sound. One thing that I've learned after doing many gear reviews on YouTube is that tone is so subjective. The thing is that I think that this microphone sounds great, and it responds really well to different tone changes and stuff like that. But overall, I think this is a really well-designed system. I love how simple it can be, or how many different options you can have so that you can get the sound that you want. And again, I love how tiny it is and how it's just a clip-on with no other cables needed. So that's basically it for the video. If you guys did find this video helpful, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. It is a free way to support the channel at no extra cost to you, so I would appreciate it. If you do decide that this product is right for you, I do have links down below in the description so you can check it out for yourself. 2 other videos of mine to check out. I recently reviewed the Shure SM7DB. It's a great update to their SM7B microphone, which you see used everywhere, but this one has a preamp built into it, so you don't actually need a cloud lift or anything like that. And actually, I did review the Shure MoveMic TWO, which is this little guy right here. This is an XLR to USB audio interface, probably the smallest audio interface that I've ever seen. So you can check out both of those videos by clicking the links on your screen now. Thank you guys again for watching. If you did find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time.